What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy, that guy named Jay, checking in. This thing will focus. There we go. So what we gonna talk about this video? Okay, so in this video, I'm gonna talk about specifically my new job. Okay. I wish I had better lighting in here, but this just gonna have to do. What you want me to do? I'm at the crib, man. When I'm at the crib, I really don't be heavy on YouTube. I just don't. But and that's another thing that's probably gonna change. I don't know though, because I should still be able to put out frequent videos. Today was kind of, well, this first load was kind of, I ain't gonna say hectic, but I just wasn't even thinking about doing a video, just because it was my first load. Had to get refamiliarized, if that's even a word, with how this goes. But so now that I am, I should be able to start doing videos at least every other day. So but it shouldn't be a 3-hour gap between videos. Can you focus on me, please? Thank you. So, for those who don't know, who don't follow me on Facebook and Instagram, I've gone back to the port. Okay. I've actually gone back to a company that I worked for before, that was running out of the port. Shout out to Great Wide. I didn't even realize that they still watch my videos, or they know who I am. When I walked in there yesterday, one of the receptionists of the ladies that work in there was like, "That guy named Jay." I thought that was pretty dope, but that's me. I'm an attention whore. Or at least that's what people tell me. But anyways, so I went back there. I worked for them actually twice before. Actually around this time last year, I went there, left, went back to Swift, then went back there, left, went back to Swift. So that was, whatever. But so I'm very familiar with the company, very familiar how it works. Basically, what I'm doing is I'm an OTR driver out of the port. For those who don't fully understand what that means, it means this. There are 3 different type of, I guess, ways that you run out of the port. You have local, which local in the port is, of course, home every night, but you're, for the most part, inside of a 100-mile radius. So you're on air miles. So kind of similar to what I was doing at NBI. You know what I'm saying? You don't really have to worry about e-logs. More so is your time in and your time out. And of course, when you're inside of a 100-mile radius on air miles, all you have to worry about is then you get like 16 hours to be on duty. Okay. The other one is regional. Regionals, this is the most popular, I would say, from the people that I've talked to. And that's basically where you're going out to, because we're in Virginia, you're probably going out to the western part of Virginia, like off of 81. You're going to North Carolina, and you're probably going up to Maryland. Those are the 3 states that you're going to deal with, just because those are pretty much the only states that you're going to be able to go to and get back home. Regional, for the most part, is home every night. The reason I say the most part is because e-logs. This is the first time. Well, when I left the port, that's when e-logs had first been implemented back in December of 2017. So a lot of people were doing regional, and they were on paper logs. So they were home every night just because they was on paper logs. And I'm going to leave that there. I'm not going to go into specific detail into that. But those who know, if you know, you know. But with it being on e-logs, I feel like it gets a little tricky, because I know it was one route we would run that would be north of Baltimore. And depending on what time you got unloaded, man, if you had a 9 a.m. delivery and you didn't get out of there till 11 o'clock, you got to fight traffic all the way down 95 back home. You know what I'm saying? And it just sucked because of the traffic. Traffic killed your clock. You know what I'm saying? And what I do is OTR. So what that consists of is basically you get a load, or you pick up a container out of the port. You go wherever you go. Like, so let's say West Virginia, Kentucky, Tennessee, upstate New York, Anything that's probably about at least 600 miles out, 500 to 600 miles out, and you do a 10-hour break in the truck, and then the next day you come back. Okay, so for example, if I have a delivery, like let's say the load I delivered today, this morning, I left. Today is, what is today? Today is Tuesday, so I had a Tuesday morning delivery. So I left yesterday, which was Monday, yesterday afternoon, got there last night, slept overnight in Kentucky, woke up this morning, delivered the load as soon as I was empty, came back home. And what I'll do tomorrow, which is Wednesday, is I'll go to the port, pick up my next, take my container back in there, get another container, which would be my next load. Or if my load is already ready, I'll go get another container just so that I won't get charged for that dray. You know, that's money that I don't have to worry about coming off my check. Then get my container, get my load, and then head back to another either Kentucky or whatever OTR load, get there tomorrow night, spend the night, wake up Thursday morning, deliver that load, come back home, and I'll be done for the week. I've already been given the calculations. Pretty much the majority of the OTR runs pay $500 to $600. Okay, if I do another load, I apologize if the phone keep focusing and unfocused. I guess I'm too far away. But I'll try to find a better setup somewhere in this house to do videos. But so let me see if I can, do it like that. But anyways, so if I do another load like the one I did today, that check should be somewhere between $1,000 to $1,100. Now with that, I think I only did 2 loads. So you calculate all the hours that I'll drive, be about like 36 to 40 hours. So that'll be 3 days that I worked, and I'm gonna make $1,000. Some people think that's not a lot of money. Some people think it's a lot of money for 3 days worth of work, and I'll be home. Let's see, I was home tonight, Tuesday night. I'll be home Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night. So that's 4 nights in a 7-day period. I'll be home. Can't beat it. You know what I'm saying? That's how I feel. You know what I'm saying? This was a great situation. Even when I did it last year, I think the reason that I left last year was that I don't even know. You know, I don't know if it was me trying to do something, trying to, be something I wasn't, or, I do remember I got frustrated with the process, but I had a lot of things that I did with this company that was on me, running out of fuel, not really having a productive work schedule, being behind, which ended up costing me to lose loads, not really understanding, getting back to the port on time. So my check got like 4 or 5 drays, which drays are $40 a pop. So it was just different things that I really didn't fully understand, which got frustrating, at a point. And then at that point, that's when my truck, I had hit a deer. So I was out of an OTR truck. I was in a regional truck and a local truck. And that's back when e-logs was new to the port. They hadn't made all the changes that they have made now. So it was just, I'm not blaming anybody. If anybody, I blame myself. So it was just different. I wasn't, I had a hard time adjusting. So I'm hoping now, knowing what I know and having the work ethic, that I have, I should be able to be successful, especially if I continue to do OTR loads. If I'm doing 3 long loads a week, 15 to 1700 a week. If I do 2 long loads and a short load, that's 12 to 13. And if I do 2 long loads like this week, I'll work like 3 days and I'll make $1,000 to $1,100. You know what I'm saying? So the thing about the port that I like, it doesn't, as far as with the actual loads pay, it doesn't pay as much as I guess the drive-in, reefer, and flatbed, but it's more consistent. The port pretty much runs all year long. I think it slows down a little bit after the holidays, but for the most part, the port is probably one of the more consistent lanes in trucking, which is why the cents per mile or the percentage or whatever, however you want to break it down, is a little lower than drive-in, reefer, blah, blah, blah. So, that's pretty much what it is, man. It's nothing special. Um, I'm pretty much, if more or less, if I'm running 3 long loads, to Kentucky or upstate New York or wherever, on a weekly basis, I'm pretty much making the same that I could have made OTR, but I'm home more. You know what I'm saying? Even if I run 3 long loads throughout the week, I'll be home Monday night, Wednesday night, and Friday night, and then Saturday night. The thing about running 3 long loads, though, the day that I'll lose is Sunday. Because basically, when you're running 3 long loads, you're pretty much doing a 34. You're doing a 34, and then you're getting right back to it. If you want to continuously make those $1,500, $1,600 checks, $1,700 checks, that's just what it is. But the beauty about it is, talking to the guy that I work for, he's saying it's a lot more laid back than what it was. So, for example, let's just say I work hard for like 4 or 5 weeks, $1,500 a week, and I stack, I just, stack a decent amount of money, or, I just run. It's like, man, you know what? Let me chill. Or, I can then choose to, hey, man, I just want to run 2 long loads this week. So I only got to work 3 days that week, kind of can relax a little bit. And then, next week, get back to the 3 loads a week. You know what I'm saying? So, I do think that this is a good fit for me. I think it gives me a balance, road driving plus being home. And even with me being home, like, for example, like tonight, I got home at 7 o'clock. And I pretty much don't got to start really moving until 10 tomorrow morning. Because if I leave out at 10, the normal wait time for the port, about 2 hours. So to get there 10, so 12, 1 o'clock, I got my load. Then I can head out from, if it's a Kentucky load, 9 hours, that's 10 o'clock. Get there. 10 hours from 10 is 8 a.m., which is probably my delivery time anyways. Be unloaded by 9, 10, let's say 10 a.m., drive back. Put me home about 8, let's say 9 o'clock. And then I'm done for the weekend. You know what I'm saying? So it's a nice balance. You know what I'm saying? It's a nice balance. I don't got to wake up at the crack of dawn. Like with NBI, I had to wake up at like 5 in the morning, 6 in the morning. You know what I'm saying? And I had to drive my car over to the, I don't got to drive my car. I park my car, truck in a secure location, which, it's an area where I live at down the street where all the port drivers, you know what I'm saying? Because the port is very popular here. It's the area where I park my truck. I go in there, and that's what it is. You know what I'm saying? So it's too early for me to start praising the company and this, that, and the third, of course. But I do think that this is, again, like, if I'm being honest, I don't ever think I want it to be OTR. I know that's going to sound crazy. But I've always wanted to be home. I think that's pretty obvious. But and I'll get into this in another video, and I'll go more specific into it. But I think with me, it's just like, I don't know, maybe I was chasing another man's dream. Maybe I just was so caught up in, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I made it, if you watch my recent videos, I've made a recent, I came to a recent revelation that I knew I wasn't going to buy no truck in the next year. You know what I'm saying? And I just knew, I started realizing a lot of things. I was moving too fast. I was doing this, and I just had to slow down. And it's like, once I got to a point where it's like, I'm slowing down, I'm not rushing, it's just like, okay, I can make this money and be home, which is what I want to do, even though some people may not agree with it, but this is what I want to do. And it's just like, why not? You know what I'm saying? I just, again, we'll get into that in a video. I might even do a live feed and address it. But at the end of the day, this is where I'm at. This is where I'm hoping. Ain't no guarantee. Who knows? I might change my mind next week, but I doubt it. I definitely doubt it. I look at the longest situation I've ever been at was NBI. And that was like 7.5, 8 months. You know what I'm saying? I was at Swift the length of time that I was with Swift, simply because when I went to Swift, I didn't even have a year experience. So I couldn't leave. And then once I hit a year worth of experience, I couldn't leave then either because I was going to be touching boxes. So Swift was my longest stay, but only because I couldn't leave because there was no job that was something I want. Because I'm strictly against touching boxes, and that's all I would have been able to did if I would have left Swift. By the time I left Swift, I think I had 18 months, which allowed me to get the port position. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely think I'm more comfortable at the house. I think that's just for me and my family. It just works. You know, it's not gonna always be perfect. It's gonna be tough days. It's gonna be days where I feel like quitting. But coming home and contemplating that is a lot easier than being out on the road sitting for 2 days, or being out on the road just frustrated in the truck versus being in my house that I hope to buy one day. You know what I'm saying? So, but that's what it is, man. This video getting lengthy, so I'm gonna go ahead and cut this short. I have more videos explaining other things as far as my decision on coming local, or I guess you could call this regional. I guess whatever you want to call it. But I have more videos explaining why I did it, personal, business-wise, things to that nature. And yeah, man, that's what it is. As always, stay safe, stay positive, stay productive. God Family Trucking. Go.